Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for spending some time with me. My name is Michelle George and I like everything, or I should say I love everything that is planner. So from the title you would see today I am going to polish my leather TN journals. I think this is the first time I'm showing these on my channel. Now, before we begin, let me give a little disclaimer. This is what I do to take care of my planners. This works for me. So please don't say that Nisha Lee of Lee's Planner told you to do this. No, this is what works for me and I'm sharing it with you. But if you would like to try what I'm doing, please always do a test first, okay? So you can always do a test on a small section of your planner. I usually suggest doing it on the back inside of your planner. Just do a test so that you can see if this method would work for you. Great. Now that we have that, let us move on. So leather journals, as I always say, need to be pampered and loved at times. Otherwise, they feel neglected and they look neglected, just as mine does right now. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference, but let me hold it up close. You can see it is very rough to the touch. When I touch it, I don't know if you could see the texture. It's very rough to the touch. It's not really smooth, although this is raw leather basically. Okay, it's very rough, and because it's being used, of course, you see it has all the little love marks on it and so on. All right, look at this one. So this one too, you could see it looks dry. It looks, you know, it needs it. Mine got a little scuff here, but let me show you. I did a test piece, as I always tell you all to do, just right here. I hope you could see the difference. It is smooth, okay? And this is just one layer I did. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly what I did to take care of my leather journals. So guys, so the two leather journals that I use, they are made by the same company, September Leather, and the A5 journal I use as my spiritual binder. Okay, I use that as my spiritual binder, and then this smaller journal I use as my journal, my everyday, just where I record my thoughts and you know what is going on with me. I do that in this one. Now, as I said, I got these from September Leather. And guys, let me tell you, these come so highly recommended. And now that I have two of it, I understand why. This leather, it is thick. But guys, if you are looking for a very sturdy leather that will last years upon years upon years, I do recommend this. It is really good. Now, these sell out very quickly. When I was looking to purchase mine, you can either buy it from two places. You can buy it directly from September Leather, or you can buy it through Amazon. September Leather does have a store on Amazon, so you can buy it there. So I bought it through September Leather on Amazon, okay? But these sell out really quickly, guys, really quickly. And I checked last night, and when I checked, I saw it only had 8 remaining in this one. So as soon as they are listed, they sell out rather quickly. So what I did, because I had already decided that I was going to get it, I put it in my cart, and literally every single day I checked to see if they were back in stock. Every single day. And when I saw that they were back in stock, I bought them immediately, and that's how I got my hands on these two. Right, they sell out really quickly, and you can go and look at the reviews. I have yet to see a bad review on these. They come very highly recommended, so I would recommend these. But when you are getting leather like this, especially these types of leather that is not really coated, you could see that's basically almost in its raw state, you really need to take care of your leather. So as I said, these are genuine leather. This one is in dark brown. Okay, if you would like to see me unbox this to get an entire walkthrough of these, I will link it in the cards above. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. I'm going to link it in the cards above so you can look at that video and see exactly how this is set up. But we are not here for that today. We are here to see how I take care of my journals. So let's go through that now. Okay, so we're back. I have removed all my inserts from my leather journals. Okay, and so now the first thing I want to talk about now, I usually use this, so you may see little scruffs and scratches and marks on this because I always put this down when I am cleaning and polishing my journals because I don't want to affect or harm my desktop. So the first tip that I would give when taking care of TN leather journals is to keep it away from sunlight. Keep it away from sunlight. Sunlight, now all leather has natural, I'm going a little scientific now. So all leather has natural oils in them. And the natural oils is what helps to keep the leather soft and supple and, you know, moving. If we put leather in sun, it will evaporate those oils, and then the leather becomes very stiff and may even crack. So I do not keep my leather journals in any position where at any point in the day they will get sun or anything like that. All right, so that's big tip number one. And then the next thing that I do is I always keep it dry. I try my best when I'm using my leather journals. I try not to have water around or anything because I don't want it to spill on my journals. Okay, but if it does spill on your journals, you dry it immediately. You dry it, because water too also soaks up the oils that is contained in the leather. It removes the oils, and so that could also stretch the leather and so on. So, and it could also leave huge stains on your leather. So I would suggest keep it away from water as much as possible. So when I'm cleaning my journals, these are the things that I use. First, I use a jersey material. You could see this is the end of a jersey that I just cut. And you would notice this one, I use it a damp piece. Now the cloth, first let's talk about the cloth that I use. The cloth that I use, I prefer jersey material. But if you have to use any other cloth, try and get a piece of cloth that will not release lint on your planners. Okay, so try and get a jersey material. I think jersey material works best. And this one is damp. Now if I squeeze this, you would see nothing would come out. I'm squeezing with all my might, nothing. That's what you want. You don't want excess water, you just want it damp. Okay, so I use that. And then I also use another piece of cloth. You see this one was used before when I did my tester. So another piece of cloth, but dry this time. Okay, dry. And this is what I use. I use the Kiwi shoe polish. Okay, now you want to use a polish. Now this is not the best. I'm going to say that this is not the best thing on the market there for polishing your leather goods. But whatever you have, but just make sure it says it is for leather. All right, and that it shines and protects your leather. Just make sure it says that, okay? And you can do process of elimination. Use whatever you have and see what works. Now this works really, 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 really well for me. Okay, I have tried the liquid one before. That one, it didn't work well for me. It did not work well for me. Okay, so I use this, and I use it in neutral. Just make sure of that, not black, not white, no other color, but in neutral. Okay, so these are the things I use, and I also use a hand shined. Now this is a shoe shine. I'm sure you could get this in any shoe store that sells shoes, I hope, but this is what I use. It's like a sponge, like, and use it to shine. Okay, so this is what I use. You can also use another juicy piece of material to you could say rub it, but I have this and I like using it, so this is what I use. Okay, so those are the things I use to polish my leather. Now I usually always start on the inside, so let me show you what I do. So I take my damp cloth, okay, and I just rub. And why are we doing this? We are doing this to make sure, just to get up all the dirt and dust that may be on the planner. So that's why we are doing this, right? Just want to make sure that all the dirt and dust is up, so that when we go to polish, we are polishing on a clean surface. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. So let's just clean up this one. And you could see the dirt coming up, the dust coming up, so you just want to do that all over your planner. Right, and when you are finished wiping off your journal, you leave it to dry. Okay, so give it a few minutes, let it air dry, and then we'll come back to it. Right, so now that this one has basically dried while I was cleaning the next one, so we are going now, I'm going to start polishing this. Now when I polish, I usually do it twice. Okay, so I'm going to do it once. So what I do is I just take my cloth, let me look for a better spot. I rub it in the polish. Now I would suggest you doing this in a bit of a ventilated area, okay? And what I do, I just rub it on gently, just like if you're polishing a shoe, and you would notice that your leather would get darker, but over time it would go back to its natural color. At least that is what has happened in my case. Okay, after a while it goes back to its original color. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to polish the entire planner, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll come back, polish it again, and then kind of buff it and shine it. Well, I shouldn't say shine it, because I find that this planner that I have doesn't really shine, but at least buff it to get it a smooth finish. Now, can you see the difference? Look at all the leather, the lines and so on. Well, this one is not really dry, so you can't see the lines, but the lines and so on that was on it before, we don't see those lines. Okay, so just go ahead and just get on that polish. And I don't polish here, guys. I don't polish here. If I ever get a conditioner, I think I will just condition here, but I don't polish it. Okay, and let's get the underneath of this. Don't forget the underneath of your loops. Most persons tend to forget the underneath. Underneath is leather too. Okay, and so we have that. Let's do it on the other side. And so we're going to polish the other side. Okay, I hope you all can see the difference. I'm going to do one side and then we'll compare it to the next. Can you see the difference? Are you seeing lines? The lines are almost totally gone. So when I do the second polish, I'm hoping all the lines will be totally gone. And of course, over time, it will get back more lines. It will get back its, you know, beauty, as I call it. So guys, I'm going to finish off this polishing this planner, and then I'll polish the next one, and then I'm going to leave it to dry. And guys, before I leave you all, I just want to say you can polish it once and buff it and just leave it. But because I have not polished mine in such a long while, that I'm going to do it twice, just to make sure it's back to its, you know, suppleness, and you know, so that's why I'm doing it twice. But you can totally just do it, polish it once, buff it, and that's it. Right, so guys, I'm finished polishing the journals, at least for me, giving it the first polish. And guys, what lines? What lines? Where are the lines? Okay, so I'm going to leave it. I usually leave mine for about an hour, so I'm going to leave this for an hour, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to polish it again, leave it for an hour, polish and buff it, and then leave it for an hour, and then we'll be ready to put the inserts back in. So I will see you in an hour's time. An hour for me, a few seconds for you. Okay everyone, so we are back. It has been an hour that these have been sitting there, and it is a big improvement. The leather feels much smoother now, but we are going to polish it for a second time. Okay, we're going to polish it for a second time, and we are going to buff it with my little handy shine lights. Okay, so let's do that first. I'm going to do the smaller one first. And if you may be worrying about the smell, after a few days, once you let it sit, the smell totally goes away. Totally goes away. So you don't have to worry about the smell. And polishing your TN journals is also important, because if you do get any spills and so on it forms like a protective barrier between whatever spills you may get and the leather itself. So it's always good to, you know, keep it polished. I've been delinquent with mine. So I'm just going to go and do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to polish it, but I'm going to also buff it. This is what it looks like. It's like a little sponge. And so all I do is just take that and just rub the leather like that. Can you see the difference? And that's what I do. I just rub it. Now, I don't spend forever rubbing it. I just spend, I don't know, probably about a minute or so. It adds a very little shine to it. I don't think that the shine is so big, but it adds a little bit of shine to it when you buff it like that. Can you see the difference between the two sides? The one that is buffed and the side that is not buffed. So can you see the difference? That's why I buff it, and I really like this. Let me show you it again. I don't know, I've had this for years, so I really don't know where to say you can go and get it, but I'm sure you can get something that is like this. Do you see, guys? I'm trying to bend it towards the light so you can see. That's why I don't ever miss this step. In my last polish of it, I don't ever miss this step. And that's it, guys. Can you see? Let's do the other side. So we're going to polish it again and make sure your surface is as clean as possible. And try not to get, many persons take out the string. I don't take out my string, but try your best to not get any polish on it. So keep it out of the way when you're putting down your polish and so on. I just don't have the patience to restring my TN, so I don't take it out. But if you want to take it out, you can take it out. Right, I'm trying not to get fingerprints on it, but guys, look at the final look. Can you see that? This is the final look of the TN. Do you all remember how it was first? And this is the final. I'm trying not to get fingerprints on it. So I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to do the larger, the A5 TN. This is the finished look, guys. And so what I do is I usually leave this. I leave this like about an entire day just for it to set in for and for the smell as well to leave. So I leave it like about a full day or so, and then I put back in my inserts after that day. So guys, that's it. That is it. I just wanted to show you how I take care of my traveler's journals. So this is going to sit about a day, and then I'm going to put back all my inserts inside. So I hope you benefited from this little tutorial on how I take care of my TN journals. Okay, if you have a different way that you take care of your TN journals, you can share it in the comments so that other persons watching the video can also see and probably try out. Probably that might work better for them. But as I said, this is how I prepare my TN journals, and guys, it is so smooth. Before it was so rough, now it is so smooth. I didn't want to touch it, but I don't like to. I'm like those, long time when we scuff and we shine the shoes. You can't touch it. You can't get anything on it. That is me when when I'm finishing polish. When I finished polishing and buffing my TN journals. For a few days I don't want to touch it, but I'm just going to leave it, let it relax, let it set, and then I'm going to put back everything in it and use it. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, comment below if you like it. Just give me some thumbs up in the comments and share it. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.